Hi everyone, it's Karen here. It's day 5 in our 12 days of tags for 2024, and here we've got a real snowy scene. Now, I did promise you that I would do some bright sunshine tags, and they will be coming, so never fear. But here we've got this lovely snowy scene using just one stamp. So I'm going to show you how you can create this really different look with one single stamp. So I've used lots of different purples and dark blues to create the background. I am going to use this fabulous moon mask set from Tim Holtz. If you don't have it, do not worry. Cut out a circle and I'll show you how we do the rest. Okay, so, but for now, I'm fortunate enough to have this, and you get this lovely texture which is going to make us look like this is the surface of the moon, and then a plain circle for the background. As I said, one single stamp. Now, I'm sure all of you have a tree in your stash somewhere. Snow, you know that this is my favourite white. Now, for the colours, look what we are going to use. We're going to start with weathered wood. That's going to give us a bit of moon texture. We're also going to use shaded lilac for some of the background and also on the moon. And then we're going to darken the background with Dusty Concord and Blueprint Sketch. So that's going to give us the background texture. We're going to create some water splatters in the background and white snow with our trusty fan brush. And then for the stamping, we're going to use a variety of VersaFine clairs. We're going to use Morning Mist, Very Perry. This is a gorgeous light sort of bluey purple. Then something a bit darker, which is Fantasia, and Twilight even darker. So that's how we're going to get this sort of depth in the trees. I am going to use a couple of smoothies and a couple of stencil brushes. So that is how we're going to create our tag for day 4. So to get started, I've got my tag, and I take my little circle and I'm just going to pop it just slightly below the mark there. And my trusty stencil tape, this is the best low tack tape I've ever found. It comes from Sweet Poppy Stencils. It never marks your card. Now I'm just going to hold this in place like this, right on the edge of my tag there. Now that should hold this nicely in place, and I'm just going to put a tiny bit of tape at the bottom of my tag there. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my purple, take my shaded lilac. Now I always have a bit of paper next to me, so I can just dab off the first bit, make sure there are no extra blobby bits on it or scratchy bits. There we go. And then I'm going to hold this in place, and I'm going to start from my circle and just gently flick it off, because what we want is we want lightest closest to the moon, because of course the moon is casting that light around, and then we're going to build up the colour as we go towards the edge of the tag. And as I said, we're going to bring in Dusty Concord and Blueprint Sketch, so that by the time we get to the edge of the tag, we've got that extra depth, darker colour. That's it, like this. So that's what we're going to do there. Keep from the centre of your circle, that way you're not going to get too many blobby bits. That is a technical term. Now, I'm just going to gently bring this purple down. I'll take this off because I don't want a line there. I just want it in place so that I could hold it all together. I can see, I'm just going to flip this up so you can see how nice that is looking there. Now, as you saw on the original, towards the edge, we've got a bit of a darker colour. I'm just going to carry on going here, but you want a bit of white in here because we're going to stamp the trees. Look, we're going to stamp the trees on top, and so you need a bit of this white popping through, otherwise it's just going to look really flat. Okay, happy days. There we go. I am very happy with that. Lid on. Dusty Concord out. And using the same sponge. Again, just making sure no blobby bits. Lightly there. And just make sure you're getting a bit darker towards the edge. Love it. And then I'm going to bring in my blueprint sketch, which for any of you who've been with me for a while know that is my favourite colour. Because I use it so much, I have a dedicated sponge for it. Now, of course, you can use your favourite blending brushes. So again, I'm starting on the circle, but ever so lightly, and then pressing down a bit harder on the edge, because I don't want all the colours to smush in together. Now we are going to put water splatters on this, paint splatters, so if your blending isn't perfect, do not worry. Lovely. Look at that. I'm happy with that. Did you see that? Look at that gorgeous, gorgeous colour. Okay, so I'm going to take this off. Keep this quite close because we're going to bring it back. And then I'm going to bring, where's my little moon? The surface of my moon. Now, if you don't have one of these, you can just use a brush and then just tap at various points over the moon to just create a bit of texture on it. But what I'm going to do, might turn it around this time, I'm going to take weathered wood. So that's kind of a grey colour. Look, isn't that lovely? Well, lovely for this purpose. And then ever so lightly, you just want a tiny bit on your brush. And we want it ever so light. There we go, perfect. Can you see that? So I've gone harder in certain places, lighter in others, to give you that sort of variegated surface of the moon. I'm happy with that. Thank you, weathered wood. We'll now go back to blueprint sketch because I just want to get a tiny bit around the edge here. I just want this a bit darker because that's going to make the paint splatters be even a bit more dramatic. We don't need to worry about the bottom because the trees are going to take care of that. Look. Look at that. Even if I say so myself, that's looking rather gorgeous. Now I'm just going to clean this mat up because I don't want it to transfer. onto my tag at all, I always keep a little cloth close by so I can clean up my mat. Fabulous. Here we go. So now we're going to stamp. We're going to take our little fir tree, whatever tree you've got. It would be quite nice if you had this tall pointy bit. It is a smallish tag, so that pointy bit will give you a bit more of a dramatic effect. Now, you might think, oh my goodness, she's got 4 different colours in VersaFine Clear. That is perhaps a little bit overkill. But you know what? That's what's given us this depth in the trees there. Okay? So, that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to take a piece of my paper and I'm just going to tear it. Tear it however you wish. Like that. And I'm going to start with the lightest colour. So we're going to go light to dark. And I'm just going to ink up my tree. And I'm just going to lay this down. And you're just going to stamp a couple here and there. So you can see, doesn't matter that it's only halfway, because we kind of want it to look as though the snow is there and they're just peeking through. Lovely. So that's Morning Mist. We're then going to come in with this. This is one of the new colours, well, newish, called Very Perry. And it's a lovely soft kind of purpley blue. Look, let me show you. Look at that. Isn't that a bluey purple or a purpley blue? Who knows? Again, I'm still going to use a bit of my paper. I'm just going to make these come up a bit taller. Look. I do ink it up every time, just because I want it. And you're going to just vary the heights. I'm going to bring this down a bit. Well, maybe not. There we go. Look at that. So that's what you want. That's as your start. And then we're going to go in with the darker colour. So I'm going to go in with Twilight next. There's nothing on my cloth there. I'm just wiping it dry. Oh, look. So this is Twilight. Now I'm going to make this dark, bold, in the corner there. Yes, I'll get away with that. Look at that. And then a couple on this side. Oops. See how it's coming together now? We want a couple. One more. I'm going to put it just here. Oh, I love it. I love it. And then finally we're going to come in with Fantasia, which is definitely a deep purple. And I'm just going to make a couple of bold ones in the front here. Like that. Yes. I am going to put something. Oops. I'm going to put something here. Yeah. I love it. Look at that. Isn't that good? So as I say, you do want a bit of white popping through there. Line this out the way, clean it up. Right, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get my little circle back, pop it over, and then I'm going to do some white splatters. Water, no, not water, not white yet. Start with the water. Oh, I didn't clean that brush very well, did I? That's because I've got white water in my water pot. Tut, tut. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered, but I would have landed up with too much of a watery look on the back of my tag. That is not what I'm looking for. So there we go. And then I'll just use the back of another stencil brush or something. You can use a ruler. And then you're just going to let this fan brush bounce. I'm going to put those water splatters all over the tag. Look at that. I'm going to let it bleach out the water from the Distress Oxides for a second before I dab it off. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? Now, oh, I love it. I'm very happy with that. Now, before I do anything else, I just want to dry it a bit. Give it a blast with a heat gun. Come back in with my little white circle. Oh no, for my splatters, I'm just going to leave it like that. Get my paint. Now you can use acrylic paint if you wish. Gesso, a thick gesso works. Posca pen. Posca pens work quite nicely if you just tap it. Yeah, I just like to see the size of my splatters before I put it on. I'm just going to cover, even covering the moon with a bit of those splatters. I'm going to clean this off because I don't want this on the back of my tag. So there we've got, I've dried my splatters, I've punched a hole in the top. The last thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to, I actually would like it a bit dark around the edge, but I'm just going to go around the edge. Yeah, you see, I love that, how it just darkens it, gives it a little bit more of an atmospheric look. But again, you still want to keep that white peeking through. I absolutely love it. Look, and then I'm just going to put a bit of twine through the top. There is your tag. Day 5. I cannot wait to see your makes. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.